What the heck is going on with Tyron Smith? Is it time to bench him? Well, we're about to talk about it. Let's go.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
It is the start of Hop on Pop Takeover for the next 4 days in a row. Boy Green Daily on Friday, Boy Green Daily on Saturday, Boy Green Daily on Sunday, and one more time, Boy Green Daily on Monday. Hey, everybody, my name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. And as you can see already on the screen, and in the same place. He's right here, and I'm right here. It is my father for our epic annual Father's Day event that we do every year, and I'm fully aware it's not Father's Day, but we do it anyway at a different point of the year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Pop, we're here. Here we go.
Here we go. Start of the weekend. It's going to be amazing. We watched a pathetic Thursday night football game last year. Last night. Yeah, pathetic. And yeah. All right, let's go. And there's the buzzer. That's the kicking off the show.
There's the buzzer. And yeah, there it is. And the buzzer that is sounding here is an uncomfortable conversation. That's how I put it on Twitter a different day this week, because I wrote up the column. We heard on Wednesday, we were joined on the show by Jets reporter in the area of Athlon Sports, and I asked him straight up if it was time to bench Tyron Smith, and he said yes. And here's his response. We don't have the video clip, but I can read you guys the quote of what Nick Fury said on Wednesday when I asked him if it was time to bench Tyron Smith. Quote, "I think it is. Listen, when father time comes for you in the NFL, it comes fast. You have a picture-perfect replacement for Tyron Smith. Quite frankly, I think it's time for Olu Fashanu to get some reps in, because you cannot afford to have drive just be curtailed because your left tackle is getting beat at the point of attack. It just cannot happen as easily as it has. With Tyron Smith, great leader, great person, and everything about it. But at some point, the Jets are going to have to do what's right for this team. Just getting some of these younger players on the field could help save their season as well." And a lot of you may be hearing this go, "What? Tyron Smith being benched? Where is this coming from?" Well, Tyron Smith this season, there must be some Cowboys fans who they're not appreciative of this Tyron Smith benching conversation. Tyron Smith has 5 sacks in the first 6 games of this season.
Allowed 5 sacks.
Well,
he doesn't have 5 sacks.
Well, okay. He's allowed 5 sacks through the first 6 games of this season. Over the last 6 years combined, he has allowed 5 sacks over that period of time. So this is an alarming amount of sacks that Tyron Smith has given up at this point. And the real question or commentary is what the hell's going on? Is Tyron Smith to blame? Is it Keith Carter, which some people have speculated on our social media portals and things of that nature? And he's a leader on the team and someone you signed to a 1-year deal for $20 million with maximum value at $6.5 million base. And now we're in this difficult conversation of whether or not to bench Tyron Smith. So it's a perfect conversation to have with my father, the resident Dallas Cowboys fan, in the room.
Yeah. So, yeah, he is averaging essentially giving up 1 sack per game. You know, he gave up in his career. There were years that he only gave up 1 sack. And so that's, that's concerning. His average sacks per game giving up is 0.2. So it is more. It is difficult. It is it's concerning, but I would still say he's still in your article, you talked about him being a solid player. That's not why you brought him here. Being a solid player is still better than what the Jets have had in the past. I think you keep in the game. Now the coaches break down all the film. They've broken down every sack, play by play, understanding what the offensive line play calls are, what they've done. And it's really, that's where the rubber hits the road. And the coaches have broken it down. They see the players in day. They'll know and make the right decision. It's easy to just look at the baseline numbers and make that decision. Tyron Smith may have lost a step, but he's still probably one of the strongest players left. When he latches onto you, you're not going to give up the sack. So it's hard to say. I would leave it up to the coaches and trust the coaches if they believe that's the right decision to make. On paper, he's not as good as he once was. Shout out to Toby Keith. But I think he still brings value to the game.
Interestingly, Jeff Ulbrich, the interim head coach for the Jets, caught a lot of heat because he was, of course, asked about Tyron Smith and some of his struggles. And here's his quote. We also have this in the article in the YouTube description down below. This was the quote from Jeff Ulbrich. He's playing good football, but all he brings is not just the football. He brings so much to the classroom, the experience for these young guys as well. I really believe Olu is going to be a special player in this league, and he's so fortunate to be mentored by a guy like Tyron. Tyron is playing solid, though, and he would tell you that we could all play a little better, coach better, the whole thing. He is playing solid, and Jeff Ulbrich caught a lot of heat for that. But actually, if you look at the analytics, again, the sacks allowed is a very alarming number. But when you look at the overall analytics so far this season, he's got a 70.8 overall grade, a 70.3 pass block, and a 69.3 run block. That's a lot of word salad, simply to say that when you look at those numbers, those aren't bad numbers. They're not great. They're not elite. But those are solid, average, run-of-the-mill numbers, which seems to suggest sort of what Jeff Ulbrich has said, despite the sacks allowed. But like, for instance, the sack that I think we're all thinking about from Week 6 Buffalo Bills Monday Night Football game is A.J. Epinesa, a mediocre pass rusher who has never had more than 6.5 sacks in a season, beat Tyron Smith immediately on a key play at the end of the first half, 3rd and 15. The Jets would have been in field goal range. He gets sacked immediately. Aaron Rodgers could have been hurt. All of these other things. And he was beat immediately by this no-name guy, which was just like, whoa, where the heck is Tyron Smith? And the fact of the matter is, Tyron Smith is playing solid by the PFF data, but the Jets didn't bring Tyron Smith in to be solid. They brought him in to be this elite superstar that he was in Dallas, and that's why they gave him the incentive package, which can give him money up to $20 million for the season. So So that's the part that I think is concerning a lot of Jet fans.
Yeah. So let's calm down. You talk about no-name people. They allow to sack to no-name. You know who the league thinks is no-name? Will McDonald. That's who the league thinks.
He's second in the league in sacks.
Right, this year. But before this year, he was a what? A no-name, a bust, a failure. I'm just saying that, you're going over the top. He's producing solid. Is he Tyron Smith of 10 years ago? No. And if he was, you probably wouldn't have signed him. Right? That's why you signed the incentive lane deal. I think you're getting, we're painting it like it was a bad deal. You're getting what you paid for, and he doesn't get the bonus. He doesn't get the bonus. $6.5 million a year for offensive linemen that would start 13 to 14 games is not an exorbitant or out of market amount for paying offensive linemen.
The incentives in this particular contract were built solely and mainly on his playing time, because we thought the risk of signing Tyron Smith was basically he hasn't been healthy. He hasn't played a full season since 2015. So the risk the Jets thought they were taking when they signed Tyron Smith is like, okay, well, he's not healthy, but when he's on the field, he's awesome. So that's what they thought. Tyron Smith hasn't missed a snap. He's played 100% of the snaps in the first 6 games of the season. But it's not the health that is in question. It is the play on the field that is in question, which has kind of surprised a lot of Jets people, because that's the thing that catches us a little bit off guard. So he can keep making his incentives if he keeps staying on the field. But it sounds like some Jet fans right now don't want him on the field and want to give a chance to Olu Fashanu. Now, Fashanu has been criticized because he's had to step in this season at right tackle for a handful of games when Morgan Moses was out. I think it's important to note that Olu Fashanu has never played right tackle in his entire life. He has only been playing left tackle, and he filled in for Morgan on the right side because that's what the Jets needed. And, of course, he's not playing left tackle right now because we acquired Tyron Smith, and there's supposed to be this benefit that he could learn from the bench. So that's the interesting question. If Tyron Smith is struggling and Olu could play his natural position, maybe he would look a lot better at left tackle than right tackle. But also there's the social dynamics and the I say political correctness, but the politics of Tyron Smith. He's not just some random second-year running back that you could easily throw on the bench and there's no big deal made. Tyron Smith is a leader in the locker room. There's a lot of hoopla that would be involved if you made a decision of that magnitude. And could you be herky-jerky and move back? How would that affect the locker room or Tyron Smith if you yanked him out, put Olu in, Olu struggles, you want to put Tyron back in, and all these other facets? That's, to me, the complicated nature of this potential benching compared to any other benching.
Yeah, it's important to note
Okay.
that you are. I'm trying to think. You're like the Walking Dead, right? And so one day, hey, buddy, hey, we're all friends, and like I love Greg the Leg Zerline, the Leginator, and he has a bad game. You're ready to stab him in the head with a pitchfork to kill him. Mike Williams, you are espousing. That's a word you should look up. You're espousing, how great he was at these catches, and then and now you're ready to gut him and cut him and trade him for a candy wrapper. And now here we are with Tyron Smith. You know who has lost talent? You know who has made mistakes that you gloss over, that you pretend don't happen, that you pretend because you espouse, well, he's a right? You don't blame Aaron Rodgers for anything in his mediocre play this year.
Mediocre. Heading into the Vikings game, he had one interception on the season. Did your voice just crack? It might have. I went to higher register. Aaron Rodgers, heading into the Vikings game, had one interception on the season. And then over the last two, he had
last two seasons?
No, the last two. And by the way, against the Buffalo Bills, he had the best game of his entire season.
Are you hitting puberty right now? Because your voice
the best game of his entire season, and the pitch was because Mike Williams ran the wrong route.
A best game of the season. How good was it?
It was great. Mike Williams ran the wrong route. If he doesn't run the wrong route, then we're talking about the Jets in first place in the AFC East and just acquiring Davante Adams.
And Robert Saleh has a job, so you're better off. You wouldn't have Davante Adams.
Well, the fact of the matter.
And he acknowledged that he saw Mike Williams went on a different route. He acknowledged it and tried to adjust his throw. And guess what? He failed.
No, wait. He didn't go like, I'm just sitting back here in the pocket. Oh, man, Mike Williams is running a different route. Let me try to guess where that is. Whoop. No. Aaron Rodgers said he cocked back the throw. It was starting to throw, and then he's like, oh, shit, Mike Williams is not running where he's supposed to. And last second, he tried to go, yeah. And then the ball flutters. Mike Williams slips on his ass. And if he didn't even slip, if he just turned around and then caught like a punt, it still would have worked out. But he fell on the ground and just stayed there and said, maybe I can catch it on my back. And then the Buffalo Bills, Aaron Johnson intercepted it. So it was all Mike Williams' fault. Aaron Rodgers is why we're at where we're at.
You're right. He is why you're at where you're at. But anyways, this is not an Aaron Rodgers beating. It's just a comparison with how you're ready to, take people to the side of the road and give them the old Yeller treatment. And other players, you pretend like they're playing at the top of their game.
Aaron Rodgers had a really bad game in London. There's no question about it. And Robert Saleh was fired a few days later. It's unfortunate that he had the 3 picks. He had never had multiple interceptions in a first quarter in his entire Hall of Fame career. But he did in Minnesota. But if you take that game away, that's the only bad game that he's had on the season of where he imploded. Has he been great at all the other ones? No. But he has been terrible only in that Minnesota game. The rest of them, he's been more than solid, and he's continuing to get his feet under him, again, by virtue the example of the Week 6 Monday Night Football game where he looked the best that he has looked all season. And that's a great sign moving forward because he just got his best friend reunited. He's now staying at his house at Ches Rogers. It's terrific. Davante Adams is going to fix a ton of problems for the New York Jets as we head into Sunday Night Football.
First, to see him plug the interior of the offensive line so Rodgers has more time to throw. I can't wait for him to rush the passer, and he'll do phenomenal there. Yeah, all these things will be phenomenal. All the world's problems will be solved. World hunger is resolved today because Davante Adams is on the Jets.
Hassan Reddick is coming back, okay? So that's going to figure itself out. So he'll rush a passer at some point when he and Drew Rosenhaus figure out their business. And in terms of the protection, if he knows where Davante Adams and knows he's going to be running the right route, he can get the ball a little quicker because there's a trust, there's a relationship, there's a salt and pepper, a yin to yang, mac and cheese action happening there between Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. And plus, it's going to open up the rest of the field. Every single defense the Jets play from here on out are going to be like, damn, where's Davante Adams on this play? And that opens up things for Garrett Wilson and Tyler Conklin and Breece Hall and go through the whole gambit of people. That is all going to happen because of the presence of Davante. And if they don't ask that question, where's Davante? If they just go, I'm sure it'll all work out, then Aaron Rodgers to Davante Adams action happens, baby. And even as Davante Adams said in his press conference earlier this week, even when I'm double teamed, I'm still open. So sounds like we can still get the ball to good old Davante Adams. This is a game-changing move, a season-changing move, and it's going to increase the Jets' ceiling dramatically heading into the rest of the year here.
The ceiling? I thought the ceiling was a Super Bowl. How's it increased dramatically now?
Back-to-back Super Bowls.
Back-to-back?
Super Bowls. All of that is on the table.
That makes a lot of sense.
All that's on the table. So long story short, let's go back to it. Let's ask the question before we open up the phone lines here. And let's ask the question point blank. Should the Jets bench Tyron Smith, or is that even a crazy thought to even consider it based on his play so far this season?
Yeah, I would say we do. It's something to monitor, something to focus on, something to look at tape, see if there's some adjustments to be made. I don't think we're at the benching phase right now. The majority of the issues with the offensive line has been the interior, is when Aaron Rodgers has been bum rushed and been beaten up. So I don't think it's time yet. I think it's something definitely not to ignore and to monitor.
Well, the only thing is here, and I agree with you, I think it's something to monitor because it's Tyron Smith. But the problem is we're monitoring for too long. Well, Aaron Rodgers is going to be dead because he's been getting whacked behind the head with a crowbar. And all it takes is one play for us to go, I guess we should put Olu in. And at that point, it would be too late, and Aaron Rodgers is on his back.
Yeah, so Jared B., by the way, a couple things. I decided not to give you your $1. And so you're going to have to come get it. You chase me around with your bicycle. And the second thing is I think we should do a poll. I think we should do a poll and ask, we should do those more often, frankly. Okay. That's a great idea.
Okay.
But yes, I'll be looking out the window to see if you're chasing me with your bicycle for your $1.
Okay, I'm putting that in right now. Okay. Should the Jets bench Tyron Smith? All right, there's the poll. Okay, great. I will now. Oh, yeah. So the poll's in there, folks. So you guys can now vote. We'll keep an eye on it. What's your guess? Do you think people are going to say yes or no?
I think people are going to say no.
Okay, so let's see. So right now, all your votes are coming in. So feel free, guys. Keep sending those in. The votes are pouring in. And I think it is an interesting debate. I don't know if it's a guaranteed lock. Of course you should, or of course you shouldn't. I don't know. So I'm curious to see. So votes keep coming in. We're live here on Boy Green Daily. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, spread the good gospel of Boy Green Daily. We're live every single day at 7:30 in the morning. And we have a poll currently up. Should the Jets bench Tyron Smith? Either vote yes or vote no. And we'll keep an eye on that poll as we're going along here. Father, are you ready to open up the phone lines?
I am.
Yes.
Jared B., please send me your PayPal. I will make sure I send you that $1 in 20 installments.
Oh, see, there you go. It's the fine print that you guys got to start paying attention to. It's the fine print indeed. All right, we're about to open up the phone lines here on the show, and you guys can feel free to call in. If you're going to call in, it's important to note that you have to be over on YouTube to be able to call into the show. So you can call into the show here. Feel free to do so. Let me not do shortcuts here.
Yeah, so far we got 52 votes and 65% say no. That's a big no.
Yeah,
how about a no?
At this current moment, it appears that is the theme. That is the temperature. By the way, you guys can call into the show now. That is the pinned comment on YouTube. That is youtube.com/boygreen25. And we'll keep monitoring, like I said, the poll results as well as those continue to come in here on the program.
While we're waiting to get somebody on, I'd like to do a shout out to your lovely mother.
Okay, sure.
Duh, I just did. And
okay. I thought there was going to be more to it, but
no,
okay, that's it.
Love you, honey. But that's about it. And you're still responsible for this.
Wow.
So
so you're welcome. It's what you're trying to say.
They're not all daisies, is what I'll say.
Wow.
Yes.
Also, real quick before we get to the phone lines, I shouldn't, but this Fireman Ed thing, my dad has no idea what this is, but I just have to say, I think we all know what this situation is. If you don't, you can Google it. For Pete's sake, people, can we just kind of rein it in a little? I feel like here's the situation, okay? Fireman Ed, in case you missed it on his Instagram, did a video complaining about that he's been at some recent Jet games, starting on the Denver Broncos game, and he noticed he's not getting as much on-screen time at MetLife Stadium, and said that that's affecting his ability to get the JETS chant, which would rev up the fans. And I just have to say, that sounds incredibly egotistical. And Fireman Ed, you're great for what you are as a Jet supporter and everything else, but I think we're drinking a little too much of our own Kool-Aid here of like saying the Jets video team is trying to phase me out and things of that nature. It's just we have to take ourselves for what we are. For instance, I'm Boy Green, right? And I get that I have a show and we got 500 people watch right now, and people seem to care about what I say about the Jets. Why, I have no idea, but people seem to do it. But I try to not take myself too seriously. The people that support me, it's cool. The people that don't support me, all righty. And I just kind of take it for what it is. I feel like sometimes we take ourselves too seriously. And to be honest, in terms of phasing in or out, Fireman Ed phased out when he quit on the team a bunch of years ago, and then he magically came back in 2015. You're supposed to ride with the team through thick and thin, and also he was like a Dolphins guy like a cajillion years ago. So, I don't know.
So as someone that's been to a couple Jets games in MetLife in the past few years, I will tell you this about Fireman Ed.
Okay.
Right? He's become annoying. He's become annoying. I've seen his videos every once in a while pop up on my feed. Here's what it is. I'm as annoyed as a fan at the game. Like, him gesturing and whatever. How about shut the fuck up? Right? I'm there to watch a football game. I like the Jets chants, by the way, just to be clear. And they showed him on the screen in the stadium, like, I don't know, 10 frickin' times in that game. The split screen with some other notable people that I don't know what their names are, but the bottom line is, get over yourself. You're there. People enjoy you. You have some notoriety for your role. I don't know how much you should be on the screen, but get over yourself.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I haven't really commented on this, but I just feel like I had to say it because it's out in the universe, but I didn't really know how to properly say it. So why not just on the show with a lot of people bringing it up? It just seems wild to me that like we would reach that point that, again, Fireman Ed for what he is of doing the Jet chant is cool. Every time he went, Jet chant, of course I did it. We're all Jet fans. Of course we're doing it. But like whatever screen time you get, it's what you get. It's what the gods allow. And just enjoy that screen time to complain and say, I think they're trying to phase me out. And then openly ask on social media, do you guys know what's going on here? Let me know. And now ESPN has covered it. The New York Post has covered that he's been being apparently phased out by, like, what are we talking about here? We've acquired Davante Adams, the New York Jets of Aaron Rodgers in the middle of the season, and we're writing articles about maybe Fireman Ed is somewhat getting phased out of video boards on the Jets, like it's some sort of big conspiracy theory to like lessen the spotlight of Fireman Ed. How the hell does that make any sense?
Really, Fireman Ed has ran his 15 minutes of fame well past it, right? He should be like the Hawk Tua girl. Right, we knew about it. You move on from it. Get over yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Fireman Ed Hawk Tua girl didn't really have that on the bingo card, but different strokes, different folks, I guess. Anywho, that's a great transition to get to the phone lines here. Let's go to Johnny Boy first on the show. What's up, Johnny?
Morning, guys. Hey, the Hawk Tua girl helped out the Mets, but now it's gone down the drain. So
apparently she's Hawk Tua at Grimace.
Wow.
Yeah, she did. That's what I heard. But that's for more of a private conversation. Right? Yeah. Hey, first and foremost, this is awesome. You guys are together, man. This is dope. Like I was telling BG yesterday, man, it makes me happy, man, seeing father and son doing things and whatnot. So kudos to you guys. Papa Esden, be easy on your son. 'Cause I know you might throw him like if you're going down a bridge or something. So you might get the urge, at least my dad does with myself, at least, but
I'm going to use him as a lawn dart later.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. It'll be kind of fun. We never got to, do the.
That's true. The boy green toss. Yeah, that's a good point.
I was saddened by that, but all right, the Tyron Smith stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, do not bench him. Who replace him with? Olu, and then progress him as a player. The whole time we've talked about, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he needs to learn behind Tyron Smith. A player that'll be with us for at least for like 10 years on the left tackle, blah blah blah, etc. I don't think so. I mean, honestly, when you look at the stuff, he really didn't do that bad. Other than them 3 plays that he got blown up on that could have caused Aaron Rodgers to get injured and whatnot, because that blindside hit that he took was tough to watch. He actually had a pretty good game, so I think it's because it's Tyron Smith. He's getting paid so much money. We're expecting him to just be super dominant on that, which I still do, but I don't think it's at that point yet that we should go ahead and bench him and, start Olu yet.
Yeah, the only thing I just want to add to that is to make sure that this is clear from this standpoint. I think it's beneficial that Olu Fashanu is getting to learn from, apparently, as he's told, and even before the Jets drafted him, stories that Tyron Smith was his idol and all this other stuff. He used to watch, tape on him when he was a young kid. Like, all that's good. I think it can only benefit anyone to learn from one of the best to ever do it. And I think Tyron Smith is going to moonwalk into the Hall of Fame one day. But I think if Olu was on a different team, he would have been the starting left tackle from day one. The Jets have this unique benefit that he didn't have to be. I don't think he needed to be marinated, but I think it can only help that he is and will be from that perspective. So I think he is ready to go, and I don't think we should, not that you are, Johnny, but like that other people have been like, boy, right tackle kind of look questionable. Okay, if I'm right-handed, I've been wiping my ass right-handed. All of a sudden, one day I'm like, let's mix it up and wipe my left hand. Whoa, not as effective. Yeah, no shit, it's not as effective. I haven't wiped it with that hand my entire life. So the point is that I think Olu would be ready if they decided at any point to just say, you know what, let's go to Olu. But again, I think Tyron Smith is better than, a lot of players. So hopefully he can just work out through whatever these kinks are. I think that's ultimately where I think a lot of us are. And let me see the current poll. Yeah, we're at 59% on a no on benching Tyron Smith, which, by the way, I'm fine with because I'm the one who advocated as loudly as possible for Tyron Smith this offseason a couple of months ago. So I want him to not be benched. I want him to figure out his stuff because I think, again, he's as great as he is.
By the way, we've gone from ass wiping to hawk-tooing to Fireman Ed and his panties in a bun. We've covered a lot of material so far.
Which, by the way, we just got a YouTube super chat in. Sharif, we appreciate that. Every time we get a super chat, it's Raya Luna. Wow. Sharif says, Fireman Ed, he'll get over it. We need a real mascot. LOL. Oof. Yikes.
Maybe the hawk-tooing girl's available.
No, I'll check in on that. Availability.
I just thought about that. When I said what's up to BG when I met him, I gave him a big high five with his right hand, and now I'm all like, man, So, wow. But no, I'm kidding. Hey, this weekend it's gonna be a tough game again. I think TJ Watt's gonna try to abuse Morgan Moses over Tyron Smith. The other guy that they got, I forgot his name, and something Smith, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever, that the Pittsburgh Steelers have too. He's another.
Are you talking about the pass rusher?
Yeah, the other pass rusher that they have as well. Look, they got a low-key, pretty good squad, man, and I was losing, BG. What? Yeah, man, I got us losing 17-14 to them.
What do you mean, man? Dropping to 2-5?
Your voice is still cracky for
well, because I'm in disbelief. What do you mean 2-5? This Jets team is desperate. They've got Davante Adams. The Steelers are switching quarterbacks. For what reason? No reason. They're winning. Why would they switch quarterbacks?
Well,
we're going to get a rusty Russell Wilson.
Davante Adams hamstring?
I'm glad that he's overcome it. it was a serious travesty to his family, and they were able to overcome that hamstring injury that has been affecting him for weeks.
He is a serious malcontent who has been malingering. Look that word up for today. He's been malingering, and I'll tell you what, the Raiders should go after him for some of his salary for malingering and not playing in the game, and now all of a sudden he's magically better.
You know what?
That's a character issue.
Or perhaps Davante should go after the Raiders with a countersuit about how they were not helping his hamstring heal. And imagine as soon as he gets to the Jets, their medical team was able to solve and crack the case that the Raiders were unable to over the last month.
Maybe
Perhaps.
Aaron used a little Haktua magic on him.
Well, whatever works. Okay, I'm about a results guy, not how we got there.
I hear that. Same. Hey, it's Coach Tomlin that I'm worried about. Right?
Yeah, he's
how
great.
can we outcoach Tomlin? Are you confident that the coaching staff that we have right now can outcoach Tomlin?
No, but Tomlin's not undefeated. It's not like I'm going to do the Rocky speech. He's just a man, Rocky. He's just a man. Because that's what he is. It's not like it'd be one thing if they're coming in here 6-0 and they've been blowing everybody out. They're switching quarterbacks. There's going to be rust with Russell Wilson coming in. The defense is awesome. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. They're terrific, and TJ Watt is a freak. But when you look at the offense, there's plenty of holes there. George Pickens, all he has to do is get pushed around a little bit. So if I'm the Jets, I poke and prod that animal till he's exploding on the sideline against Pittsburgh Land. He's got a nasty temper. That's great news for business. And then, like I said, the quarterback switch. And they got Arthur Smith on the other side, for Pete's sake. He sucks. So this is great.
Yeah, Johnny boy, you bring up a phenomenal point, as you normally do. I would tell you this, right? We lost the Broncos game, not because of the players on the field, because Sean Payton, I don't know how to characterize the disparity between the skills he has as a coach versus Robert Saleh. And right, so you can't discount what Tomlin brings to the table, right? He's going to probably set the record for the number of winning seasons for a head football coach. It'll be tough with Landry and Shula, but it's going to be up there. Right. And realize you're talking about that type of coach. So he's going to come with something, and it's going to be a very difficult game. And I would tell you, if the Jets were to lose, it's going to be exactly because Tomlin is a better coach than anybody in the Jets coaching staff by a wide margin.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I know you guys got other people. BG, I'm sorry that I had to give you that nugget right there. I feel like, I might have upset your right hand, but you'll be all right. So I appreciate you guys. Hey, keep killing it, man.
Appreciate it, Johnny boy. Thank you for the call.
The biggest problem is Boy Green's not a hand washer. So he keeps talking about wiping his ass.
Okay.
He's not big on the washing of the hands.
That's not exactly true.
I would say we have people on the – so Tatiana, I saw you, by the way.
Yes.
I hope you're doing all right. Tatiana, send her love. Your mom is on there. So they can report it. We can do a poll with those two people and say how frequently you wash your hands or sanitize.
No.
It's surprised you're not a walking COVID factory by how little you wash your hands.
No. We went to a restaurant yesterday, and all I asked the waitress was, that washing hand sign is only for employees, right? She said, well, yes. And I said, thank you very much. And I went on with my day. That has nothing to do with anything else. And by the way, shout out to my beautiful fiance, Tatiana, who's back at home in New York. Zari Luna apparently is still sleeping. She's jealous after, again, every time we get a super chat, we hear from her. So I hope they enjoy their wonderful weekend that is coming up.
I'm going to have to throw that mouse away that you're using of mine, by the way.
Well, there you go. Give it the old discount double check here. There's no question about it. No talk of the aquarium. Yeah, we're going to avoid that for my sanity. And for Tatiana, hopefully we'll get there at a different point. All right, let's try. I don't know if we have him here, but NY Jets FL is he. Oh, well, let me go to a different one here.
Oh, look, your mom says you're boosting your immunity. But
all right, let's go to NY Jets FL, I believe. Ted?
Are you there, Ted?
Okay. We'll try to see if we can get a better signal. I don't see him on camera, so we'll allow you to kind of wait. I think we got him now. NY Jets FL? No, I don't think so. Looks like he's on camera. I don't know. Anywho, the link to call into the show is on youtube.com/boygreen25. We have 500 plus people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, and let's get it going. And as we're waiting for any potential callers to come in for the show, Pop, let's talk a little bit about the Jets Steelers, which obviously we'll be able to get to over the next couple of days here. But I'm curious on this initial matchup, and perhaps let's start on the decision that it seems like it's going to be made. I'm not sure if it's official yet. Today's Friday, so we're probably going to get the official answer perhaps today here on the show. It sounds like the Steelers are switching quarterbacks from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would tell you that Russell Wilson is an accomplished NFL quarterback. They must, Tomlin is the last thing in the world, like we said. He's the last thing he is a fool. And so there's got to be a reason. I think that Fields brings things to the table that would give the Jets problems, right?
Sure.
His ability to be the running quarterback. Russell Wilson, given the opportunity, is a much better passer. It gives the Jets something to think about, and gives them something that they're going to plan for both options, right? Come up with essentially two different defensive defensive game plans.
Yep.
As you can't run the same defense against both of them. So that, if nothing else, that could be a move by Tomlin just for that sake, right? To throw a fly in the ointment, so to speak.
That's true. Yeah, our Steelers insider that we spoke with, Alex Kazor, on Wednesday evening, he believes that this is a legitimate conversation, that they are going to switch, and it's not just the hoopla of gamesmanship and things of that nature. And if all that indeed is true, I think Mike Tomlin is a wonderful coach, and anyone would be lucky to have him, and he's never had a losing season and all of that jazz. This is a terrible mistake because, for me, the Steelers are, not just for me, for everyone, the Steelers are winning ball games with Justin Fields. Even if they're winning in spite of him, he hasn't turned the ball over a lot. I think eventually that's going to flip to the other side because he is a guy that's always turned the ball over, and he has not so far this season. He's fumbled 4 times. I don't believe he's lost any of those, and he has 1 interception as well. The Steelers are winning. The best way to do it if you're the Steelers is coming off a Steelers loss, which, again, they scored more points than they have all season last week against Vegas. Even if Justin Fields didn't have a great game, they would be best suited to hit the eject button on Justin Fields after a loss and he looked bad. And then there's a natural transition to make to Russell Wilson. To do it in the middle of winning, I think, is a mistake. I think it's great news for the Jets because Russell Wilson is going to be rusty. And I remember what happened the last time the Jets played Russell Wilson. Oh, yes, they strip-sacked him for the scoop and score to win against the Denver Broncos. So I really love Russell Wilson coming in. He doesn't have anywhere near the mobility of Justin Fields. This isn't Russell Wilson 10 years ago. This is a much older version of Russell Wilson. He's going to be rusty. He's not going to have the same threat of the running game. To me, this is great news for the Jets about this quarterback change. And again, a bit of a bizarrety here because Mike Tomlin doesn't normally make these kind of mistakes because he's a wonderful coach. But to me, I think this is absolutely terrific news for the New York Football Jets. I am feeling as good as you can considering the circumstances. Again, you're playing in an iconic venue. You're playing on Sunday Night Football. You're playing the Steelers, who are this iconic brand. There's a lot that's going for them. But when you take away some of the mystique and you really look at what this Jets team is, to me, I really like this matchup because we could play the game of the Steelers of like who could get to this point total first and draw the line in the sand. And I think the Jets offense, which has more dynamic, that word, dynamicism, whatever that is, of getting to that other level, I believe they're going to be able to do.
Is more dynamic?
Yeah, I guess I could have just said that. That would have probably been easier, but I wanted to use the cool word, but I couldn't say it. Shout out to Jared B, by the way, who gifted a membership here. Beautiful. So shout out to Jared B. And our new member is Board Fat at 31, which we appreciate. So let's update the banner here on the channel. And now we are 239 members away for NY Jets FL, baby. Beautiful. And thank you to Jared B for getting in on all the gifting membership action. If you guys would like to, you are enjoying the show and you'd like to buy your own membership to the Boy Green Coffee Club, it's only $2.99 a month. Help supports the show. You can do so in the YouTube description down below. It says join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. Click that. You can become a member. If you'd like to gift memberships, just like Jared B did, if you're watching on YouTube, the little money sign, click that. It's the final option. Gift channel memberships. You can gift 1, 3, 5, 10, 25. Hell, you can gift a 50 spot if you so are inclined. Feel free to do so, which is great. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this game is really going to come down to the interior offensive line for both teams. That's where I see it's at.
Okay.
You know, Najee Harris, right? Is he going to be able to take advantage? Because, you know, really the best thing you could happen for the Steelers is Najee Harris gets hurt and their backup running back comes in and runs all over the Jets. Because apparently that's a thing.
Jaylen Warren actually is pretty capable, so he's one of the more notable backup running backs in the league, unfortunately. But yes,
it's going to be
your point.
It's going to be two of the best defenses in the NFL. It's going to be amazing. You know, I think the first to 17 wins. It's going to be a good game for sure.
Yeah, it could be a slobber knocker. That's for certain. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We got Bubba Badshaw here on the program. What's up, Badshaw?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. And thanks for the.
Please turn your camera off.
No, thank you. I appreciated the crotch shot there. That was nice.
Well, I'm sitting here like Paul Walker and at to work. I was passing somebody the minute y'all put me on, but
no, that's okay.
I was having trouble getting into the phone on the phone lines. I was dialing 1-800 and I was yelling "Boy Green."
See, I know my father's never gonna let that go from the Rich Eisen show. But again, I'm just gonna say again, it makes a lot of sense because when you're trying to call into any of those numbers, which I had done when I was a kid, I'm like, how in God's green earth do you do this? There's 3 letters on. It's not like a Samsung BlackBerry phone that you tap it 3 times to get to the number. And I was always confused. I just go like, Boy Green, Rich Eisen, this, that, or the other. And again, it makes a lot of sense. I know there are more people like me out there. None of them want to step open into the light at this time, but that is 100% the truth.
Moron!
Well, there you go. Well, which, by the way, hey, Terrence Hill, perhaps this is a pity membership, but I'll take it. That is, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, just real quick, we are still working on the moron shirts.
Yes.
And they are the Hop on Pop bacon shirts available at the Boy Green
merch store.
Yeah.
That's right. And shout out to Benny Baboon, who just became a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Welcome to the show, baby. And we appreciate you. So we're now 238 members away for NY Jets of L, which we really appreciate. Beautiful. Thanks, Terrence Hill.
Yeah, I don't want to know how he got the name Benny Baboon.
That is unclear, but hey, you know what? I don't judge.
Well, are y'all going hunting this morning? Y'all got your camo on?
We're hunting several things, and one of them are Pittsburgh Steelers, baby, because we're taking them out. We're taking them out of commission, so we're doing some prep work. I heard in the hunting world that you have to to kind of familiarize yourself and assimilate with the environment. You got to rub a lot of deer piss all over you and kind of start going around. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of hunting in my life, but I've heard about that one and kind of kind of blend in with the environment. So we're going through the basic steps of preparing for the actual hunting process.
Yeah, he's much more known as a gecko massacrer.
Okay, I don't think we need to tell
mass killings of geckos. We've already told the story in the show.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell it anymore. That you wiped out the entire gecko population of South Carolina.
We were able to reintroduce the population to the state of South Carolina. It's taking 15 years to bring the population back up to some appropriate numbers, but they've been removed from the endangered list, and that's what's most important.
Well, don't feel bad. I almost wiped out the whole frog population when I was 5 in Arkansas. So
see, there you go. We're all doing our part.
It happens. But yeah. I don't know. I might be hunting for a left tackle. Maybe we've got one on the team. His name's Fashanu. So I'm guessing the popular vote is still to keep playing Tyron.
Ooh, it's nearly 50-50 right now. We have over 100 votes.
Ooh, 130 votes.
Yeah, it is currently 51% no to bench Tyron Smith, but it's going back and forth. So, and I'm not surprised because it is that kind of conversation where you could be on either side. Again, I love Tyron a lot. That's why I wanted him, and I'm not hiding from that. I really slammed on the table to get him. But to be honest, Olu Fashanu, while I wasn't very advocate for it loud on the show because I wanted wide receivers or tight end or anything, if we were going to take any of the offensive linemen that are realistic, Joe Alt was never coming to us. Like Olu Fashanu was the guy I wanted out of the group of Fuagas and these guys and the other, but I just wasn't sure if the Jets are going to go in that direction. So I'm happy with Fashanu. He was a guy that if he would have came out the year before, would have been a top 5 pick. And whatever happens with the draft process, he somehow slipped to it. So I love that he is our left tackle of the future, but is he our left tackle of the present? We got to still wait for the poll results, I suppose.
Well, and I've seen it coming the past few weeks. I've seen his decline, and I don't know. Have y'all ever seen the movie Pineapple Express?
I have not, no, but I heard of it. Yeah.
Well, do y'all know who Danny McBride is?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in Pineapple Express, they basically beat the shit out of this guy, and they've got him like duct taped up and all this shit. They've got duct tape around his neck just to hold his head up so it'll look like he's okay. And that's how I feel when I look at Tyron Smith. Like, I just feel like he's got 2 arms. Like, he looks like he's got 2 robotic arms on, and he's got all this gear. And I mean, he's a big MFer. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah.
He's intimidating. Like, I would not be saying any of this if he was sitting in the car next to me, right? But anyway, but besides that, I completely agree with everything your dad said. I feel like one week we're all about somebody, and the next week we're like crucifying them, like Mike Williams. I know some stuff's happened with him. I'm definitely, all in about Davante Adams. I'm excited about that and what that's going to bring to our offense. But some of this stuff where it's like one week everybody's like, at the beginning of the season, a lot of people were like, Robert Saleh, I like what he's doing for the team and blah, blah, blah. And it's like week 1, everybody's like, cut his head off. And I'm like, it's better to get rid of him. But I mean, it didn't really look like anything had changed the other night besides the offense. And I was under the impression that Robert, I mean, wasn't he making that switch too? I mean, wasn't he about to make the switch to Todd Downing? Or am I wrong in that?
No, that is correct. That is correct. So there's been a lot of things misreported about that, but let's get the facts out there. So Robert Saleh was set to make the change from Hackett to Todd Downing. Hackett would not have been fired. I'm not saying you're saying that, Betcha. I'm just saying that is the mischaracterization that was out there, that Hackett would have been fired. Some people reported that, and that's what Saleh was going to do. That was not going to happen. But the basically the flip that we saw, but to me, too little, too late, Saleh. You're heading into week 6, and that's when you're going to make the change. Maybe if Saleh makes it a week or 2 before into Downing, and then we have that kind of burst against Minnesota. If we have that burst against Minnesota early, which the Jets did, their offense looked really awesome, really throughout the game of moving the ball. Like, maybe they win that game. And again, all of Saleh's destiny changes of getting fired. So I think it was just too little, too late. But yes, it was reported that he was going to make that flip heading into the Buffalo game, but it was too late.
I got you. Yeah, that's what – I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we need to kind of stick with a few people a little bit longer before we write them off. But like I said, I am one I'm ready for a replacement at left tackle just because I get he's a Hall of Famer. But if TJ Watt, or somebody gets to Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's not a young chicken anymore, He's an old cock. I don't want him to get – his dick knocked in the dirt and not get up ever again. I'm worried about his protection. And so I'm talking about cocks and protection. And anyway, I'll get off here, but said that either. But anyway, y'all have a good day, guys.
Okay. Thanks, Bad Shock.
I'm not gonna run another list of things that have been said on this show, but if you put them all together, it's your word salad that you're apparently so good at. Apparently, with your capabilities in word salad, you should run for president.
There we go. Let's go to a super chat real quick from our #1 Austrian Jet fan, baby, which we appreciate. Again, let's go to Zariah Luna, whether she's awake or not.
Wow.
The question is that #1 Austrian Jet fan, super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. How do you think they will deal with the Steelers pass rush? And I just want to say this, that one of the changes I'm incredibly excited about was that Todd Downing is now the play caller. You may say, Paul, okay, yeah, we saw the juice in the Bills game. Is that what you're talking about? No, that's not what I'm talking about. Me and my father wear the Jets Cowboys gear, and that's poetic because if you guys remember, heading into the Week 2 Jets Cowboys game, there's some guy named Micah Parsons, I believe is how it's pronounced. And after the game, Hackett was at the presser, had his hands to his hips, went, whew, that Parsons guy, a little faster than I thought.
You know, that Breece Hall can really, he can catch a ball.
Yeah, that one was after week 8. But after the Cowboys game, man, that Parsons guy, a little better than I thought. And he put him in one-on-one situations with Dwayne Brown. And Zach Wilson, in this particular case, as the quarterback, was getting killed. The great news is that Todd Downing, I heard his presser earlier this week, is like, whoa, that TJ Watt, we are going to, and Jeff Olberg has said it too, we're going to get a body on him all the time. We're going to chip him. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at him. And he called TJ Watt one of the best defensive players in the league because he is. So, number one, how are we doing with the Steelers pass rush? Well, a lot better than we did in week 2 against Micah Parsons, for the love of God, I hope. But in all seriousness, TJ Watt is a dynamic player. I believe he's got 3 forced fumbles on the year, 4.5 sacks. I don't think you could stop him completely, but boy, slowing him down with cut blocks, chipping him with tight ends, chipping him with running backs, like I would just throw everything at him and try to gas him because that takes a lot of expended energy. Even if it's a run to the other side, you could still throw bodies at him. That's what I'd be trying to do. Again, I think he just got the 100th sack earlier this season of his career. Yeah, he's been terrific. And I think that, to me, is the key for the New York Jets, is doing a blitzkrieg approach, throwing everything at TJ Watt, and just hoping that you can just lessen him in some level, because hopefully by the time we get to the fourth quarter, he's sucking wind on the sideline.
Yeah, he doesn't typically do that, but yeah, absolutely.
Who?
TJ Watt sucking wind on the sideline.
He normally does not know, but I'm saying your best effort.
Your game plan to stop him is his best chance of success.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Beautiful here. We got one more super chat coming in here, so let's jump over there to that. Appreciate it. Papa Jet 73, baby. Whoa, mama. Wow. Number of coaches in my lifetime as a Jets fan, 19. For the Steelers, 3. LOL. 20 Jets coaches if you count Belichick's 2 minutes as head coach, and then 21 if you count Jeff Olberg's interim head coach status, which when I was watching a Jets show earlier this week, they said, 21. He's the 21st Jets coach. I'm like, wow. Yeah. Because you think about it, you had, of course, Bill Cowher, you had Mike Tomlin, and then you had, obviously, Chuck Noll. Like, that level of longevity, that level of belief. I mean, I can't even imagine us in Jets land, right? Every couple of years, man, we got to fire our coach. And I know they have those conversations in Steelers land for Tomlin because I hear it all the time. But wow, like 3 coaches for Steelers land. That's pretty damn impressive. And again, it just speaks to the iconic nature of that franchise. They've won 6 Super Bowls. They have all of this wonderful action together. It's really impressive. So yeah, they're pretty good, pretty good. But that's kind of funny when you put it that way. I don't know if funny is the right word, but yeah. Thanks, Belichick, you bastard. I retire as HC of the NYJ, dick. By the way, we're not bringing Belichick in. So for people who are asking that, hell no. I don't like him, so I wouldn't want him anyway, but it ain't happening. But thank you for the super chat, Papa Jet 73. Screw you, old man. You're not coming here. So get lost, Grandpa. Go coach somewhere else. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We've got our boy Hep joining us here on the show.
No Belichick in the building, please.
That's right. Hell no.
All right. How you doing, guys? Good to see you two together, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you, buddy.
And listen, I was curious about as far as how are we going to attack this? How is our offense going to attack the defense? Obviously, we have to come out to a quick start, and I have a feeling they're going to load the box again, and think we're going to take away Breece and dare us to pass. And what do you think a good game plan would be for that?
Yeah. It's very similar to what we did last week. We need to get Breece out in space, right? Get him out in space, right? The Steelers have one of the best defenses in the NFL right there with the Jets. But we get Breece Hall out in space, maybe a screen pass, maybe a pitch out, things of that nature, loosen up the defense that way. That'll slow down that pass rush, give TJ Watt a pause. That's all you need. Aaron Rodgers is going to be quick on the release, not hold the ball, or he's going to get hit. And we don't want to stretch the field out, quick outs, screen passes to TJ. And I think that's, to Brees. I think that's a plan of success. And they last week.
Yeah, the thing I'm scared about, Hep, is because in theory, right, Jeff Ulbrich says he wants to pound the rock. He wants to be ground and pound and run the football. The Steelers have the 4th best run defense in the league, and their pass defense is top 10 in the NFL as well. So they're like basically good at everything. So with that being said, you can't just give up on it. But to me, it's getting the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands very quickly, which, by the way, he's been leading the league, quite frankly, getting rid of the ball very quickly. But really have that as a clear orchestrated thing of like we are trying to manifest that and make that happen. Screen games is something I would love to see. Get involved in the running game. Again, Brees Hall in space is always a good recipe, and just try to see. Because to my dad's point, this is going to be a slobber knocker from a defensive perspective. So you just want to not like shoot yourselves in the foot, like a quick turnover and easy points on the other side. So there's going to be a lot of field position battle in this kind of game. So sometimes when you do drives, you just assume, oh, yeah, they're trying to get a touchdown. Not necessarily, just trying to get it to the other side of the 50. So now the Steelers are in a bad position, and a quick offense, a quick 3-and-out can then give the Jets a position where like, okay, now we're in a spot where we could either get a field goal. Blessed be he, Greg the leg, please, if we could get a field goal, or like get into that position. I think that's going to be the chess game inside the game.
One other question: Who's the odd man out in the receiver room this week?
It's a great question, and now so it looks unlikely that Mike Williams will be traded since we're so late in the week. Normally, these kind of things happen early in a week. So Mike Williams is going to be there. Ari Meroff, he's an NFL insider for the 33rd team. He said if Mike Williams is not traded, which again he hasn't been, that he believes he could be a healthy scratch against the Jet or against the Steelers Sunday Night Football. I went, wow, that would be crazy because
protect against injuries.
Yeah, basically for a potential trade that is to happen. He seems like the odd man out because he's on the 1-year deal. He's the one who seems sort of upset with a personal reason, absence from practice.
He's in the doghouse, right?
Exactly. And another guy that could have been the odd man out as we're talking about options is Malachi Corley, but he's a rookie. He's on a cheap deal, and he hasn't been involved, but you have him under control for the next bunch of years at dirt cheap value. If I was going to flip anyone, it would probably be Mike Williams, who shakes free from the tree, or just keep him for depth. As long as it won't cause unrest in the locker room. That's where, again, if Mike Williams is pissed, you don't want that in the locker room because that can be really bad negative vibes and energy. But if he's cool with it, then I'd be like, you know what? If an injury happens, we have Mike Williams. If we trade him away for a bag of peanuts and then one of our wide receiver gets hurt, we're going to really wish we had Mike Williams.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say, and this is going to be, we'll put it on the list of unpopular things I've said on the show. Wilson is going to be the odd man out. Aaron Rodgers is going to have 2 of the receivers that he knows very well to throw the ball to out on the field. And Wilson has not always caught the ball. Talk about running the route. We've given him a free pass, right? Wilson is going to see the ball less, and it's going to be more, Aaron's going to know what he's got with Davante and Lazard. And so Wilson is going to get less targets. Is he going to be odd man out? Probably not. But
they're not going to scratch him, right?
No. I didn't mean that. He'll be in the game. He'll just get to see the ball less.
Yeah, I imagine that's the case too. All right, that makes sense to me. And let's go Jets.
There you go. Appreciate you, Hep. Thanks for calling in. That was among their. My father said, "Oh, this could be a take that's unpopular." Yep. I'd agree with that. Oh, wow. We have another YouTube super chat in. I love it. Thanks for all the support, guys. Really appreciate it. Super chats. Wow. Pity Poo. He sends this in. You don't have to bench Tyron Smith. Just give Fashanu 4 series during the next game. Give him a feel at left tackle. Give Smith a rest. It's not rocket science. Smith won't last forever. And it's interesting. The Ravens last year, this was for a different reason, obviously, Piddle here. And it was Morgan Moses. He tore his pec. He could have had surgery, which would have ended his season. He says, I want to play through this. Like, strap it up. They have this thing that could go across the shoulder and support it at least. So it's very painful, I imagine, for Morgan, but he powered through it, and they rotated him. So Morgan, throughout the rest of the season, did not play 100% of the snaps. He rotated in and out. And it seems a little odd to rotate a position like that because it's not like running back, but that can happen. And as long as the guys are staying somewhat warm on the sideline where they're not coming in cold turkey, where they can kind of get blasted and taken advantage of, that's kind of curious. That's kind of interesting. Maybe, again, Tyron Smith has played 100% of the snaps so far this season. So that'd be interesting. And like the 4 series, I'm just kind of curious. If Ola looks awesome, do you just keep him out there? If he looks bad, do you yank him and you kind of have that prisoner of the moment? What do you make of this possibility?
Yeah, I think it's a solid plan. I think it's something I actually said back when they drafted Olu and they signed Tyron. This is exactly the strategy I thought they could work out. And I think it's piddle pie poo as opposed to what you said.
I see. Oh yeah, that is now clear as I get my glasses.
Just another 3 words that we never thought we'd say on the show.
Well, there we go. Well, thank you so much for the super chat, and it is true. Smith won't last forever. That's why they drafted Olu Fashanu in the first place, to be ready for the present. Of course, if unfortunately he ever got hurt, which again he's been healthy throughout the season, or of course for the future as well. So a great comment there as well. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got our boy FL Phil 98, baby. He's dressed in black for the Steelers' funeral. I love it.
Good morning, gentlemen. As far as Smith goes, I voted no, but I do think he has to be on a short leash. So I think you give a guy like him with his, pedigree, you give him the opportunity to start this game. I don't think it's right to bench him right now. And you hope he comes out and gives you what you need. If he starts to get his ass kicked, though, you probably have to pull the trigger. That would be my approach to it. And as far as the last comments about, I think Fashanu, my thought in the beginning of the year was in games with a lead that we were hoping to have, I would give him some reps. That was kind of the plan, I thought, for Fashanu, to keep Smith healthy and give him time off, give him a blow. Hopefully we get to a place someday where we're playing with a lead. So a couple of quick things. One is that, Pop, you mentioned your prediction about what was going down in Philadelphia. I was actually going to bring that up this week, that the last show before the season started, I asked you guys for bold predictions. And Pop said Sirianni was going to crash and burn in Philly. And Boy Green, you said Aaron Rodgers would have over 4,000 yards, be the first guy since Namath to have over 4,000 yards. And as bad as things have been, he's on pace for 39-30 right now.
Ooh, we're close. We're close.
Okay.
Excellent.
Now, again, you have to kind of give it the asterisk deal because it's 3 more games. But, the bottom line is you predicted 4,000. And with the addition of Adams, that looks pretty good.
Nice. All right.
Now, my prediction was the loser of Sunday night's game would not make the playoffs.
Wow.
And I think that's going to be absolutely on the money. Mm-hmm. So, obviously we'll see how that goes. But I wanted to touch on real quick the Buffalo game.
Yes.
I want you to know why Buffalo lost this game. Why the Jets lost this game.
Okay.
On Monday morning, I had a wind mitigation inspection for insurance at my house.
All right.
The inspector came in. It was windy. The door slammed. Have you ever noticed that Jets logo above my head?
Yeah.
That was in my father's office when I was a kid. That's 60 years old.
Oh, that's so cool.
When he died, I asked my mother for one thing. That it's been hanging in my house ever since.
I love that.
When that door slammed, that fell off the wall. I came in because I heard the crash. The backing had popped off, and I was trying to put it back together, and the inspector came in, and he saw it, and he said, "Are you a Jets fan?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, I'm from Buffalo."
Oh, God.
That was Monday morning, guys.
Wow.
I shit you not, that was Monday morning. And I said to him, if the Jets lose this game, I'm blaming you.
What did he say?
He said the Jets are going to lose this game.
Wow. Yeah. Well, thanks, random guy.
Thanks, random guy. What are the odds that a guy from fucking Buffalo is in my house in Florida Monday morning of that game. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, it's repaired and back in its proper place. But
I just all learned a valuable lesson. Yeah, the lesson is this: the next time that you have someone coming to check anything before they enter the house, almost like a vampire, you just have to say, like, okay, what's your affiliation? I'm sorry. Yeah, what team do you represent? If it's Bills, Patriots, or Dolphins, get the hell out. I'll call someone else, and then slam the door in their face. That's the only proper answer.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. As always, I appreciate the time and your show, and I love this every day. I look forward to it.
Thanks, FL Phil 98, and thanks for sharing that story. That's so cool, and adds to the mystique. It's like I've seen it before, but I never asked a question about it. So it's cool to hear about your dad. That's awesome, man, and that's so cool. Now every time I see it, I'll be looking up at that every time you call in, which is awesome. So Philium dropping some more gospel. I'm not surprised. All right, let's go to another phone call. Wow, I think we got another first here. Let's go to Philip Roman here on the program. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How you guys doing?
Hey, excellent. Thanks for calling in.
He's got the kick your ass Seabass hat on.
Oh, yeah. You like that? Yeah.
I'm in North Carolina. I'm a transplant from Long Island, so it's different.
Oh,
you gotta fit in. You gotta fit in where you get in. I need that camo. That's what I really need. What you guys got? I got the look going, but I just need the camo.
That's right.
Yeah. First off, that's crazy. That story right there. He should come on every week before a game. Just to make sure something weird don't happen.
Yeah, that's right. We got to check on that. Yeah, that's a good point.
Put him in a bubble.
Yeah. What was I going to say? All right, so I feel like it's a weird season, right? Like the fact, all right, the kicks being missed, 4 kicks, you're bringing kickers, fix that. We think the culture is going one way or the other. Whatever could have happened with front office, you fix that. Solid gone. It's like we're fixed. This is the first time I've ever seen this. A Band-Aid is getting placed immediately over a cut. Usually we bleed out throughout a season. So this is really like what he's saying. No, guys. I need something to happen. I need the wins to occur. We need to at least make the playoffs. I feel kind of confident in the fact that I feel like we're just going to squeak in. And I feel like the only way that happens, though, is if we go out and we still acquire some type of tackle. And nose tackle, and we grab ourselves an edge. I don't know if it's through Clowney, which I've been thinking myself. Carolina, I think they're about to implode. So something's got to happen. I don't know. If there's scuttlebutt. Obviously, everything. You're the guy to go to it heavy. I read your articles every day, so it's like something's got to give 100%. So I'm just waiting to see if we hear some good news like that. That'd be great,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
I heard anything.
Yeah, it's almost like Woody has woken up. New York reference to Catskills, Rip Van Winkle, right? All of a sudden, he's like, woke up, holy shit, I guess I better do something, right? So you're right, a little bit late, right? Letting Saleh, don't let the door hit you on the ass, going after Davante Adams. You're exactly right. A big fatty in the middle on the defensive line to shore up the run defense. And then someone coming off the edge and maybe an interior offensive line. There's deals to be made that, and hopefully the awakeness after 100-year slumber continues and they make these moves. Those are the 3 moves that need to be made. Davante will help the offense, but we need those shoring up the interior of the offensive line, the fatty to stop the run, and then someone coming off the edge, whatever that looks like. And we use Reddick to get there.
Yeah, and to your point, I will just add that Adam Schefter did mention that Jadeveon Clowney is a guy that could be had, and with the remaining guaranteed money and how that works. And I'd love him because he's elite against the run. He's a solid enough pass rusher. He's never been a double-digit sack pass rusher, but he's right in that range where if you add him to what the Jets already have, I think it'd be a great move. And so I'd be very intrigued by that.
It's because we think about it. Bryce Huff wasn't elite. We made him elite. The system made him elite.
Right.
The system got him what he got. So the Clowney will fit in. Yeah,
you go back to the
Clowney will fit in.
Go back to one of my stone cold locks from the beginning of the year was Hassan Reddick was running for Defensive Player of the Year. Well, substitute the fact he hasn't played. Will McDonald right, playing next to Quentin Williams, right, is having the season I predicted Hassan Reddick would have. And, who knows? And 6 games, 7 sacks, right? Right. You extrapolate that, carry the one, he could go out, he could have the sack record. Who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's why it's weird. It's like no matter what we thought about Saleh and everything, him and Ulbrich were gonna acquire a defense throughout all this time period they were there that was gonna do damage. Is what everyone thought, and everyone was worried about Will McDonald. My thing was it was a great insurance play. Obviously, now we look at it, no matter what anybody thinks. So JD always gives us some type of insurance play, whether it be Hassan. I don't like the whole can't trade him to the NFC, cost you a second. That's what's holding everything up, obviously, and and we're not giving him a long term. But something's got to give here if some moves like that are made. And really quick before you get to what you got to do, I'm sorry. If you saw Steve Smith's breakdown of the Davante Adams acquisition, it's like perfect to me, where he's saying he will open the box, and if you're able to get some runs on the outside first to begin, he'll open the box because he's going to give that guy a chance at every pass he thinks he can throw to him, which if he's creating these passes and he's making them, you're now afraid. You're shadowing you're going into zone and you're shadowing at a man, and you're going to open up holes. So it's just all going to work out. And everyone's just got to calm down.
I love it. Philip, thanks for calling in, brother, and hope you call in again.
Sure.
Thanks, man. Awesome. It was great for Philip to call into the show. And again, whether you're a first-time caller or a long-time caller, we appreciate you nonetheless. Again, a shout out to everyone who's watching the show. Like the video, hit subscribe. We're going to be wrapping up here on the program. And I've not seen Steve Smith's analysis, but I know he has that 89 podcast with my guy, James Palmer. So that's great. So I'll have to check that out. But again, I feel very confident with the Jets' ability to turn this around, but FFL might be onto something. Again, this Sunday night football game, winners in the playoffs eventually, loser is out. We will see if that ultimately rings true. Jets potentially dropping to 2-5 is you just can't do it. You have to win. You can't go on a 4-game losing streak. Good teams don't allow that to happen. They got to fight out of this, and they have an opportunity. It's difficult. Pittsburgh's a tough place to play. They got an awesome defense, but the Jets have to find a way to power through. They got the talent to do so. We'll see if ultimately they can deliver. Pop, it's the first episode, this Hop on Pop takeover on the screen. It's going to be happening for 4 straight days, including today, so I'm looking forward to it. So thanks, everybody, for calling into the show and supporting the show and all the super chats today. It was the biggest super chat day we've had in a long time, so we really appreciate it. And I will be back on later today with Jake Asman. Will be coming up at streaming both on his channel and my channel. So hopefully you guys can stay tuned to that. That'll be coming up later today at 4 o'clock. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
All right. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow.
All right. Take care, guys. And we'll see.